You did the right thing today. You went to the gym. You saved $20 instead of spending it. You read 10 pages instead of scrolling. And you feel nothing. No fireworks, no transformation, just you, standing in the same body, in the same apartment, with the same bank balance you had yesterday. So you stop. Not because it failed, because it felt like it wasn't working. Here's what's actually going on. Your brain is not built to notice slow change. It's built to notice threats and rewards right now in front of you. A snack is a reward you can feel in seconds. A saved $20 is a reward you might feel in 10 years. Your brain doesn't have a system for 10 years. It has a system for 10 seconds. This is why almost everyone quits at the exact moment they're closest to the payoff. Not because the habit doesn't work, because the visible results lag so far behind the effort that it feels like proof of failure, when it's actually proof the mechanism is working exactly as designed. Let's talk about how compounding actually behaves, because most people have the shape of it wrong in their head. You've probably heard compound interest before. Here's the plain version. Compound interest means your money doesn't just grow by the same amount every year, it grows on top of what it already grew. Year 1, you earn interest on your original amount. Year 2, you earn interest on your original amount plus the interest from year 1. It sounds small, it isn't. The economist Albert Einstein is often credited with calling compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he actually said it or not, the idea holds. The wonder isn't the math. The wonder is how invisible it is while it's happening. Picture a stack of coins. Week 1, it barely grows. Week 4, still barely anything. Month 3, still flat. This is the part where almost everyone stops watching. But underneath, growth isn't linear, it's exponential. It's not adding the same amount every time, it's adding a percentage of a slightly bigger number than before. And a percentage of a bigger number is bigger than the last percentage. The curve stays nearly flat for a long time. Then it bends. Then it goes vertical. The problem is you live in the flat part. Almost your entire habit-building life happens in the flat part of that curve. That's the part that feels like nothing is happening. That's the part where you quit. There's a name for the psychological trap this creates. Researchers who study decision-making call it hyperbolic discounting. It means people consistently value a smaller reward now over a much bigger reward later. And the further away that bigger reward is, the more we discount it in our minds. The behavioral economist Richard Thaler spent much of his career studying exactly this kind of short-term bias, showing that people don't just fail to plan for the future, they actively undervalue it, almost like it belongs to someone else. Think about that for a second. Your future self, the one with the healthy habit, the savings, the finished project, doesn't feel real to your brain right now. Your brain is discounting them the same way it would discount a stranger. So when you skip the gym today, just this once, you're not stealing from future you out of malice. You're stealing from someone your brain doesn't fully believe exists yet. Here's the twist, though. This isn't a flaw you need to fix through more willpower. Willpower is a finite resource, and relying on it every single day is exactly why most habits collapse around week 3. The psychologist Roy Baumeister's research on self-control found that willpower behaves less like a character trait and more like a muscle that fatigues with use throughout the day, which means the people who succeed at long habits aren't the ones with more willpower. They're the ones who removed the need for it. They stopped negotiating with themselves every day, they automated the decision, so their brain didn't have to relitigate it every single morning. This is where the mechanism actually turns in your favor. A habit is compound interest for your identity. Every time you do the small version of the right thing, you're not just producing a tiny physical result, you're casting a vote for the version of yourself who does that thing. One vote doesn't change an election. But you're not casting one vote, you're casting thousands, and the tally is happening quietly in the background, whether or not you can feel it. This is also why people who look like they had a sudden breakthrough almost never did. What you see is the moment the curve went vertical. What you didn't see was every flat, invisible day before it that made the vertical part possible. The transformation looks instant to everyone watching. It never is. So why does this feel so unfair? Because your brain wants proof before it will keep investing. But the entire design of compounding requires you to invest before you get proof. That's not a bug in the system. That's the toll you pay to get access to the exponential part later. Here's the part that should actually change how you think about today. If you quit in the flat part, you're not quitting because it isn't working. You're quitting at the exact stage where it's guaranteed to look look like it isn't, which means the frustration you feel right now isn't a signal to stop. It's a signal you're in the part everyone has to pass through. Knowing that doesn't make the flat part comfortable, but it changes what the discomfort means. It stops being evidence against you and starts being evidence you're on schedule. There's one more piece worth understanding because it explains why small habits specifically outperform big, dramatic ones. Big changes require big motivation, and motivation is inconsistent by nature. It's high on Monday and gone by Wednesday. Small habits don't need motivation. They need repetition low enough in cost that you can do them on the worst day of your week, not just the best one. That consistency, not intensity, is what feeds the compounding curve. A small thing done 500 times will always beat a big thing done 5 times, because the curve only bends for inputs that keep showing up. So here's what to actually do with this today, and it's small on purpose. The next time you complete a small version of the habit you're trying to build, whether that's the workout, the savings transfer, the 10 pages, the early wake up, do not ask, did this change anything yet? That question will always disappoint you in the flat part of the curve every single time because it's designed to. Instead, ask a different question. Ask, did I just cast another vote for the person I'm building? That question has an honest answer every single day, and the answer is almost always yes. Keep casting the vote. The curve is already bending. You just can't see it yet. You did the right thing today, and for the first time, that might actually feel like enough.